With the reality that 60% of the Nigerian populace spend their income on food, there is increasing need to create more economic opportunities that can boost the purchasing power parity of citizens, translating to a savings culture. Hello and welcome to another edition of Islamic Finance Weekly, where we bring you development in the non-interest finance market. For the key update for this week, the Islamic Development Bank President Dr. Aja welcomed the partnership with the American private sector to support development in member countries. Dr. Aja praised the initiative of the American Consulate to strengthen the relationship between the ISDP group and the American private sector. He offered a detailed presentation on the bank since establishment until becoming an integrated group whose volumes of accumulated approvals since inception reached $145.1 billion, including $83.4 billion for project finance and $61.6 billion for trade finance. In this edition, the Managing Director of Taj Bank, Mr. Norfadelizan Abdul Rahman, speaks on personal finance options open to Muslims as global economies, including Nigeria, consider reopening post-COVID-19 pandemic.
Personal finance options in the era include funding to meet household needs like appliances, foodstuff, ICT appliances, the subscriptions for data, airtime, and etc. Also microfinance options to sustain business expenditures, basic necessities of financing, and many others. In Nigeria, for instance, CBN urged commercial banks to grant moratorium to deserved lenders. And for example, like in Malaysia, the Islamic banks were ahead in granting moratorium to deserving lenders before many of the conventional counterparts in that country. In Oman, the government allowed waiving 3 months expenditure on SMEs to help them survive this ordeal. Also in Bahrain, banks requested to waive 3 months installments. Personal finance options should include avoiding wastage, only buying essential things, save money where possible because of the future is quite uncertain these days, which is caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And on investment, where possible, we should intensify investment in productive ventures that are in the near term could benefit the society to handle the ill effects of the COVID-19 economic problems, especially investments into food and healthcare supply chains.
With the Ramadan season over, the Managing Director gives insight into what Muslims Ummahs and individual Mu'minas should be doing during this challenging period shaped by COVID-19.
On the Ummah level, there are 2 aspects of relationship that we need to focus on. That is our relationship with the Creator and our relationship among ourselves. It is very clear what we need to do to seek the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of specific ibadah. But on the second relationship, this is where the Ummah can play a strong role. We should be looking at how to strengthen our welfare system where they exist. That is the zakat, wakaf institutions, among others, and where they do exist or where they don't exist, we should start either looking towards creating one and educating and encouraging all Muslims to be active participants. In short, I would call it DIY, do it yourself. Ramadan is a time for us to increase donations, sadaqah to the poor pay our zakat, both zakat al-mal and zakat fitr. This is a very good time to do that. We need to start considering living off needless debts, especially the interest-bearing debts, which endangers the fiscal sustainability of the nation and entrap them in a debt loop. It subjects nations to external influences, which is a big deal when you account for cultural and moral spillovers it comes with. On individual level, we should start looking at how to create wealth or reserve that can absorb shocks like this in the future. There is also the need for a reward or a renewed sense of responsibility in financial habits. For example, like spending, savings, alternative income sources need to also be generated. And of course, financial literacy is very important for the Ummah. We should support the poor and the ultra poor and the unfaithfully discharged.
It gives a historical perspective on how pandemics have been successfully managed from the Islamic faith.
There are lessons in Islam on how pandemic have been previously handled successfully. Yes, of course there are. From the economic perspective, there are lessons from Surah Yusuf, on the economic perspective of savings. Lessons from brotherhood, collaboration after hijrah, that is hijrah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, during that or after the hijrah, you can see the brotherhood collaboration between the Ansar and the Muhajirun on sharing of prosperity and allowing them to recover. So this is also one example, one lesson that can be learned. And from social and individual perspective, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, his companion asked him about the pandemic, and he gave advice on how to handle it. He said, if you are in pandemic area, do not come out. And if you are outside the area, do not go in. Well, this is exactly the basic idea behind the lockdown and social distancing that we have implemented now. The Prophet ﷺ also admonished us on the importance of cleanliness, such as washing hands before waking up from sleep and before eating or doing anything, which is now the standard guideline of being followed in the present pandemic.
The MD of Third Bank advises Muslims on the way they can secure their future financially.
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought many changes globally. In a very short time, in a very short period, this pandemic has caused changes in lifestyle, disrupt economic systems, and change the dynamics of businesses. In reaction to these changes, we have to adapt to what is called the new norm to continue to be successful in all areas that we are in. Adapting to this new norm, if I may say, these norms, we will be challenged to make changes very quickly in the way we do many things. It is expected that those who embrace and tune into these changes fast are the ones who will benefit the most on this post-COVID-19 environment. Apart from embracing changes quickly for the future, Muslims should manage their scarce resources optimally and invest in halal businesses, or supply chains that were disrupted in the pandemic. Through many efforts promoted by Islamic Finance, we can collectively pool resources together to support productive trades and thereby create more economic activities. These efforts can create jobs for the Ummah, alleviate poverty, and increase wealth creation. In essence, investing in real sector, moderation in consumption, avoiding unproductive debts, developing habits for charity, and healthy innovations can be the core behavioral need for Muslims to propel forward.
According to him, COVID-19 pandemic provides an opportunity to reset the way the Islamic faith interacts with the globe.
Sure, it will if proper lessons are taken, which is the basic expectation of every Muslims anyway. Financially, we've learned to consume in moderation, which is one of the lessons of Ramadan. We've learned to share, looking at the plethora of charity at individual and national level in the past weeks. On technology, we have seen that digitization efforts are given priority and expedited from lessons learned during this pandemic period. Organizations are relearning to adapt the application of social distancing and avoiding crowding of office space, but still maintain, if not increase, their operational effectiveness. Now, all this sudden increase in migration into the digital space, in the personal and mass communication, has pushed the envelope of ICT usage further. We can see how that da'wah efforts, sermons, lectures on ibadah, and many more are now moved online. Muslims, young and old, need to quickly learn and reskill to be part of these new congregational activities. I believe when the pandemic is over and when we are allowed to go back to our madrasas, our mosque, these new changes will still continue to be relevant due to the convenience on how Muslims have changed, especially on how Muslims have changed their mode of communication with each other during the pandemic period.
As Nigeria seeks to boost financial inclusion to the 20% adult exclusion, the non-interest finance market offers a great opportunity for achieving, especially in regions like the Northwest and Northeast dominated by Muslims. And that will be all for this episode. For more analysis, reports, and videos on Islamic finance, follow us on our social media platform displaying on the screen. To all our precious viewers, please do stay safe and take all the precautionary measures. Thank you for listening. See you again next week, and bye for now.